Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Wednesday Wonderings. Um, here's my wondering for this week. The other day, I had made dinner for our family. It was a night that Laura was working at the coffee shop, and so I made a dinner kind of last minute, put some things together, which I like to do. It's kind of fun to do that in the kitchen. And as we were sitting eating dinner, I said a couple of times out loud at the table something along the lines of, "Man, this is good, good stuff." And I said it a couple times, and my son Tate looked at me eventually and said, something about being proud of yourself or whatever. And it hit me on the one hand uh, that yeah, he was a little right. I was proud of what I'd done. But then I thought, hey, wait a minute. Why shouldn't we be proud of the things we do? Um, and then I said to Tate, I said, well, in the book of Genesis, God made the world, and every day God said, this is good. And then God made humans and said, this is very good. And then God invites us as people made in his image to be part of making goodness in the world, of reflecting God. Goodness is not just nice things, it's what reflects God's character. And making a good meal, I think, is good. It reflects God's character. And in Ephesians, the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, Paul says that we are saved by Christ, reconciled to God, in order that we might do good works. This isn't being morally perfect exactly. This is doing good things that reflect the character of God. And so my wondering to you today, friends, is what would it be like if you thought of what you did and how you lived in terms of good? In fact, very good, because we are reconciled to God by Christ. So often in our culture, we see the negative. A lot of times we see the negative. And sometimes that reflects on our own self-identity. We see ourselves not as good, but as mediocre. And I'm not encouraging us to be conceited, but wonder today and the rest of this week, uh, wonder about the goodness, how what you do is good because God is working in you and through you, as Paul says in Philippians. So the next time you make a meal, say out loud, this is good. And maybe even turn your kids' heads or your spouse's head. Um, let yourself experience and know the goodness of God, the goodness of Christ working in and through you, through what you do, through your work, your job, your relationships. You are good because Christ has made you good, and recognize that. Let God's goodness shine. I'll see you next week or later this week or wherever. God's peace.